Hey guys, Matt here. This is my review of 65. This movie is directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods, who previously directed Haunt and A Quiet Place. This movie stars Adam Driver and Ariana Greenblatt. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, we have our pilot played by Adam Driver. And don't worry, this isn't Star Wars. He plays a man named Mills, who has a family, and his ship crash lands on an unknown planet. And with only one survivor, he quickly finds out that the creatures on this planet aren't anything he's encountered before, and it turns out he's actually on the planet Earth, 65 million years ago. When I first saw the trailer to this movie, I was intrigued because this was going to be Adam Driver's first leading role without an ensemble cast, but also the premise. I thought this was very interesting, a clashing of styles. You have dinosaurs meets technology. Reminded me a lot of like Horizon Zero Dawn or Outlander, which I'll mention later. So I saw the movie, and though it wasn't as engaging as far as the characters go, I thought this movie was impressive because there are a lot of scenarios, a lot of things in this movie that kept you guessing, and you didn't know what was going to happen next. Aside from a certain aspect in the third act, there's a lot of things that had you going, and you didn't know if they were going to survive or not. So that was interesting. Let's start with the acting in this movie. Adam Driver as Mills. I like him as an actor. I would say the acting from Adam Driver isn't great. I enjoyed him, but his acting was limited. And that goes for the other character as well, played by Ariana Greenblatt. She plays a girl named Koa. And I'd say that because Adam Driver, he's a father in this movie. He has a family. And you only really know one side of him. You only get to know how he is when he's with his family. When he's with Koa, when he's on this planet, he's very quiet and stoic. And he kind of takes on this role as the leader of this duo. You know, he's the one in charge. He's the protector. And because of his situation with Koa, he's not really fleshed out, and that's not a great thing. Koa is this young girl who's the other survivor, and she doesn't speak his language. So a lot of the communication between him and her is through sign language or pictures, and occasionally, her broken English will come through. But because there's no conversation between them, there's no getting to know them aside from their introductions, that really takes away from their personalities. Now, as far as how they work together, their communications, you have that aspect where one character, reluctantly forms a bond with another character. That happens, and that's nice, but a lot of times, when you're not waiting for the next action piece or event to happen, there's a lot of quiet stuff in this movie. And that makes sense because the creators of A Quiet Place did this movie. So there's a lot of scenes where characters can't communicate because either something's lurking around the corner or just the communication, the dialogue isn't there because they speak different languages. And aside from the sci-fi aspect of this and the dinosaurs, a lot of the situations felt realistic. You have scenes where Adam Driver has all this technology, all these things to be able to help him work his way towards a goal, and when something breaks, or when he has to improvise, or when things happen and he has to think quick on his feet, that felt realistic. And I like that. Other moments kind of happen, last second, or, things work out the way characters want them to, but that part, you have to just remember, this is a movie, it can't all be realistic, because if this was a realistic movie, the movie would be a lot shorter, they'd all die pretty quickly, and what fun is that? So, also, there's something in the third act that gives this movie a ticking clock, if you will. There's the situation where he and this survivor need to get off this planet. They have to work with the resources they're given, but then something happens in the third act that's like, oh, okay, you need to speed this up now. And finally, the environment, the creatures, the dinosaurs, from tar pits, quicksand, small insects to large dinosaurs, it all felt dangerous, like it could hurt you at any moment. That aspect was really interesting because you had these characters who had no idea where they were or where they were going. Aside from their destination and their goal, but all of these scenarios made you feel like something could go wrong at any moment, and that's the most intriguing part of this movie because you didn't know what to expect. Yes, the destination may be obvious, but the journey sure wasn't. So because the lines of dialogue weren't that great, and you really couldn't flesh out the characters because they simply couldn't communicate, but their surroundings, their adventure they go on, all the twists and turns kept you interested and captivated in this movie, I'm going to give 65 a B. I'm just afraid that this movie, a lot like Pathfinder and Outlander with Jim Caviezel, which I highly recommend, are going to fly under the radar. Not a lot of people are going to go see this because unless you're familiar with Adam Driver's work in the latest Star Wars sequel trilogy, I don't think people are going to rush out to see this. And it's worth watching. So until next time, guys, see ya.